Oh, that's some good advice.
It is, mashallah.
Yeah, that's some good. I think a lot of kids can benefit from what you have to say.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
I have like one or two more questions, but the first one is for children who are like older, like say like 10, 11 years old, what like can they do kind of just at home, right? Like in terms of like books and maybe even like going outside and things like that, and ibadah and like things like that.
Okay, so like what kind of, how can you stay busy at home?
Yeah.
And what kind of ibadah should you start doing?
Yeah.
Well, that's a good question.
It is a very good question, alhamdulillah. It's always good to see the youth getting involved. Alhamdulillah, it's a good sign that our ummah is in good hands, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So what I would say is that in terms of activities, I mean, we can reiterate some of the points we mentioned before, but overall, I mean, there are activities that the youth can get involved in. I mean, it's a balance between maybe reading, academic stuff, you learn, you read, you can watch a few good things. At the same time, get the physical part in so that you have the physical activity too. I mean, if the parents can make it easy for the children, they can provide that kind of activity for them so they can get involved. So I think that's important to get both, not just a matter of sitting down reading no one can read the whole day. You can't watch TV the whole day either. That's going to make you sick. So it's basically finding a balance or listening to your parents and taking by what they say. So in terms of how much time you can spend on reading and doing some homework and then doing some chores and then going out and doing some physical activity. So that way your whole day would be, pretty much balanced, inshallah.
You know, one thing I would say might be good for kids is as well to think about like activities that the family can do. So you put an input. So you say, hey, guy, like you tell your family, you can bring your siblings involved in it. You go to your parents and you tell your parents, I have an idea for what we can, something that we can do as a family, right? And then maybe you get the feedback from your parents and you discuss it, and then you can come up with like different activities, right? Like there are, for example, I think like Islamic like board games. So you can maybe say to your parents, hey, can we make Friday night like family board game night? And then you can play this, like there's I think like a Quran board game you can order online, and there's a Seerah, there's a Sahaba one too.
Yes.
There's one about the companions.
Mm-hmm.
So I think would be really good that kids can, because a lot of time kids wait for parents to come up with stuff for them to do, but then parents actually start respecting kids a lot more when they come up with good stuff, like cool stuff that everyone can get involved in.
Yeah.
So that might be an idea.
Yeah, Jazakumullahu Khairan. And then my last comment is for kids at home right now, I mean, like homeschooling is quite hard. I mean, if you're not used to it. But just making a schedule and kind of getting into that schedule, like waking up at like your normal time that you wake up in the morning, right? Like the Sheikh said, like you can't be on TV all day, right? You have to like input homework and things like that. And also the Life Haqq podcast, I feel has really helped me as well, and I really like it. So and even some of my friends, they were saying that this is one of the most amazing podcasts they've ever seen. So maybe like like something like the whole family can like sit down, right? They have like the podcast on, right? That's something that I think is something that's nice. And then like kind of for older kids, because like as you get older, you want to spend more time with your friends. I think like talking with your parents about it and talking with your parents about your problems and like telling them how you kind of feel during this pandemic, and coming up with solutions together to help each other out.
Oh, that's some good advice.
It is, mashallah.
Yeah, that's some good. I think a lot of kids can benefit from what you have to say.
Alhamdulillah.
So is there a book that you've been reading? Is there something cool you've had time to do during the pandemic that normally you might not have time to do?
Yeah, actually, I've been spending a lot more time with my siblings and getting closer to them because I feel like I have sometimes I'm busy with my homework and I can't really spend time that much with them. But just seeing them kind of also going through the pandemic, I'm just kind of trying to keep the positivity around, and I feel that inshallah we can all grow up together and have that unity amongst each other.
Okay.
Inshallah.
Jazakumullahu Khairan. Thank you
Jazakumullah.
for your contribution. Do you know what the sign off is for the Life Haqq podcast? What we say at the end of every podcast?
Yeah.
So what do we say at the end of every podcast?
Live by the Haqq, die by the Haqq, and just when you think the life is stuck, tune in to Life Haqq.
MashaAllah.
You got it. Jazakumullahu Khairan.
Addressing real issues with real solutions with real Muslim communities living in the West. Join the Life Haqq podcast family as we go beyond the theoretical. To connect with us, go to youtube.com/Dr. Syed and support us by subscribing and hitting the notification bell. For more reminders, follow us on Twitter at life_Haqq.
Do I feel that the New York police are providing enough protection, or do I have to have protection of my own? I look for protection from Allah.